winter will we get? If the rest of 2020 is any indication, we could be in for a surprise.
Lots of surprises this year. Will it be snowy? Will it be mild? Will it be something in between? Tonight, the WBZ weather team has a look at what's coming and why.
This October aside, snow's been a little bit hard to come by over the last couple years. Last year, a mere 15.8 inches. In February and March, we had less than an inch total. The winter before saw just 27.4 inches. So is this the new normal? Well, the short answer is no. Some of our biggest winters have come in just the last few decades. The biggest of all was just 6 years ago. However, there are signs that this could be the third lackluster winter in a row. Here's why.
If there were to be a buzzword this winter, it would be La Nina. It is likely to be the most important planetary factor this year. It's been steadily building, and a moderate La Nina is forecast to last through the winter. And that would lead to dramatic downstream responses in the weather over the United States. This typically means dry weather in the south, cold in the upper Midwest, and mild weather for much of the East Coast, including New England.
You may remember the La Nina winter of 2018. We were cruising along with a very quiet and mild February, but then a major La Nina turned March into a mess of nor'easters and bitter temperatures. So what happened? 2 words: polar vortex. Think of the polar vortex as a spinning top. The stronger polar vortex traps the cold air in the Arctic, but once it starts to weaken, you start to see wobbling. The wobbling sends colder air in our direction and can lead to more snow. While we currently have a tight vortex, the problem is there's no way to forecast its behavior more than a few weeks in advance.
What happens in October and November can give us some key hints as to what the winter will bring. But this year's October snowfall isn't one of them. October snowfall in Boston is rare, but one thing is clear: early snow does not mean a lot more to come. The 2 biggest October snow events previously on record here were followed by absolute dud winters. November is often considered a bellwether month. How November goes, so goes the rest of winter. And this November is trending towards one of the warmest on record, similar to what we experienced in 2011. But sometimes November isn't a bellwether at all. A very chilly November last year tricked a lot of us forecasters.
So as you may have guessed, we're thinking another year potentially of mild temperatures and lackluster snowfall, maybe even the 3rd winter in a row with below average snow. Long-range forecasting is tricky, and certainly a lot could change. So this year we're going to debut a new style of forecast, one that will constantly update with new data as we head through the season. Our winter forecast is just a starting point for the next several months, but we won't leave you hanging. We'll continue to look at the data, scour our models, see how the trends are looking, and update this chart with our latest thinking. But now that you've heard our winter forecast, we want to hear yours. Go to cbsboston.com and enter our annual snowfall forecasting contest. If you get the closest amount to what happens at Boston Logan Airport for the season, you'll win a season pass to Wachusett Mountain.
I love the contest.
Me too. So do you have a guess?
Yeah, I'm going to guess low again. I'm going to guess 22 inches of snow this year.
I say 23.5.
Oh, we're doing the prices
Come on,
right.
we got to get it farther apart than
Yes.
that.
She just did the prices right thing to me. She just went $1.
I'd like to bid $1.
You can bid 1 inch.
1 inch for the winter. If I could take the under or the over, I'm not sure. But I guess I would probably take the under this year. So guys, bottom line is, I want to do things a little bit differently. I know people are kind of tired of election-related things, but as I watch kind of polling and the way they do those charts where things get tracked throughout the season, I think that's going to be an interesting way to go about this winter. So that's what those charts are going to be. We'll update them every couple of weeks. We start with the forecast, and then as new data comes in, we'll see how things change. And at the end of the year, we'll have a story. We'll see where it all kind of was right and kind of went along according to schedule, or where it went wrong. And we'll readdress it at the end of March. All right, let's take a look at the trends. One thing's for certain: winters are warmer here in New England. In fact, they're warmer across almost all of the country. And some of the biggest changes have been across the Great Lakes and the Northeast. This is winter warming dating back over the last 50 years. And in terms of the seasons here in New England, winter has the strongest overall warming signal, along with fall. The one with the weakest warming signal, which probably will not be a surprise to you, is spring. That's where we've seen some colder months over the last few years. How about the